The beaches are all closed until the end of the month. Garrett's eyes went wide. What? He's kidding, honey, Orlando said. A grimace and a huff. He's almost as funny as you are, Mom. Prawat lowered his binoculars. What's he doing? Narong asked. Waiting, Prawat said. For what? How the hell should I know? They had been on the job for 2 weeks now, following the target around Bangkok, and then almost losing him 8 days ago when he went to Suvarnabhumi Airport and caught a flight to Koh Samui. If the plane had been fully booked, Prawat and Narong might still be searching the island for the man. But there had been several seats available, and they'd had just enough time to grab 2 and get on board. Since coming to Samui, they'd spent a lot of time waiting around while the target holed up in a private walled-off compound on a small cove south of Choweng Beach. One day Prawat had become so bored he left Narong to watch the main gate and went to Choweng Beach, where he arranged for a speedboat to take him along the coast, past the compound. For an hour he sat several hundred meters off the beach and watched the house, but didn't see the target even once. After the first 2 nights, it became clear the guy was content to stay where he was, meaning there was no reason to keep him under 24-hour active surveillance. Prawat had arranged for some gear to be sent out the next day. When it arrived, he and Narong installed the camera across the street from the compound's entrance, and then linked it to monitoring software on a laptop. If a specified target in the camera feed moved, for example, the compound's gate opening, an alarm would sound. Though technically they could use the setup to watch the villa's entrance around the clock, they only used it at night so they could get some decent sleep. It proved to be a sound choice. Over the next several days, the only activity occurred during daylight hours when Prawat and Narong were nearby, and even then it was just a few deliveries bringing things into the compound. The target himself remained on the other side of the gate. Until this afternoon. The day had started off in the same monotonous, frustrating way the others had. No alarm during the night, and a morning spent parked at their usual spot, watching the gate. But at 12:45 p.m., the gate opened, and the van they'd followed to the villa their very first day there pulled onto the road, the target behind the wheel. They had followed the van north all the way back to the airport. Concerned that the target was going to catch a flight out, Prawat left Narong in the car and followed the man into the terminal. But instead of checking into a flight, the target had proceeded to the baggage claim area. Confused and curious, Prawat had retreated to a point where he could see the area but wouldn't be noticed, and texted Narong to join him. Is he meeting someone? Narong asked. Prawat looked at his colleague, wondering, not for the first time, at what age Narong dropped out of school. It's an airport. So yeah, he's probably meeting someone. Who? Prawat lifted the binoculars and looked at the target, not even pretending to consider answering the question. A few minutes later, a jet landed with a screech of rubber and taxied out of sight on the other side of the terminal. 10 minutes passed before passengers started arriving via the airport trams and trickling into the luggage area. At first, the target stoically eyed the growing crowd, but then he smiled and appeared to say something. A second later, a boy ran up to him, a young teen by his height. His son? Prawat wondered. He and Narong had no information about any family. A woman approached next. Wife? Girlfriend? No, he realized a few moments later. There was a man with her, a Caucasian holding a baby. Though the target did take the girl for a bit, she was clearly more familiar with the other man, and in the end wanted to be back in his arms. As the group made its way to the van the target had arrived in, Prawat and Narong returned to their own vehicle, where Prawat made a phone call. He has visitors, he told his boss, Virot. Do you recognize them? The man asked. No. There's a man, a woman, and 2 children. A baby and a boy who's maybe 14 or 15, I'm not sure. Send me pictures. Of course. And keep me updated. Yes, sir. Prawat hung up. So what?